Hi, and welcome to our introduction to the major components of the General Purpose Viewer, or GPV. Now we're going to start off by logging into Compass, with which you should all be familiar, I hope. And from Compass, we're going to get to the GPV. So select one of your site searches, and we're going to have a look at 5DA 137. Run the search. Now when you scroll down the page, you'll see there is now a nice little Map It button. Now once we hit that, it takes us right in, well, it doesn't take us right into the GPV. I happen to already be logged in. However, you would have to go through a login stage first, where you would use the same login that you use for Compass. Now you'll notice, first off, that it zoomed us straight to the site that we're interested in, 5DA 137. We're going to just be looking at some of the components in this tutorial. We have other tutorials where you can get a lot more information. So first off, we have the map panel, which is over here on the left, which maps, appropriately enough, the sites we're interested in. Above the map panel, we have several tools that are going to be useful to you. We have the zoom bar, so you can zoom in or out. And we have various other buttons. And you'll notice as I scroll over that a tag shows up telling you exactly what that button does for you. At the very top of the map panel are several tabs. You'll see that we have, and these are themes that will show your sites on. You see we have quads, we have aerial, we have topography, roads and railroads, municipalities, ownership, and the interactive tab. The difference between the interactive tab and the others is that over here on the function panel, under the legend tab, there are more options with the interactive tab than there are with the other themes. However, do keep in mind that the more things you have selected and opened in the Legend tab, the longer the time it's going to take for your map to load. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, it says quads, we're not on quads right now. Some of these, or we're not showing quads right now, some of these layers don't actually show up until you zoom out to a certain extent, or further in this case. There we go. You have your quad. With topography, for instance, you'd have to be zoomed out a lot further before the topography imagery shows up. Now to the right of the map panel, we have the function panels. Over here we have, first off, the selection panel. When the selection tab is chosen, the application provides two panels that help you choose objects on the map and retrieve information about them. The top panel lets you choose one or two map layers. That's this area here, and this is where you can run a search, and we'll be looking at that in other tutorials. And then the bottom panel gives you a little bit more information about the site. So for instance, right now we have selected DA 137, and it gives us information about DA 137. You can see that we've got a little select tool that's automatically selected when you log in. We could use that to select another site, in this case DA 342. It gives us information about that site. There are other tabs as well, so we could click on an archaeology tab. It's an elementary school, so there isn't really much there, but if we click under the architecture tab, it'll give us more information there. Docs will give us documents associated with that site, and you'll notice that right over here in the corner there's another tab. So what you can do to see that, there are a couple ways you can go about it. You can either click on the tab and drag it over, or you can go to the white space between the function panel and the map panel, and you'll see a little arrow and bar appears, and you can click and drag and change the size of the panels. You can also do that going vertically. So that's those areas. Now that's the selection tab. The legend tab which we already briefly looked at, has all the different layers that you might want to look at on your map. If you want to remove a layer, for instance, sites in Zone 12, which we're not really using here, you can click on that. You always have to hit Refresh Map before your changes show. We also have the Location tab. And the Location panel here, this panel provides an overview map of your area of interest, which in this case is the state of Colorado. And the red box, which is this wee little thing here, shows the current location of the main map displaying in the map panel. You can move and resize this box to change the extent of the main map, and you can use it to zoom to a different area of the map, like so. Finally, we have the Markup panel, and this is where you can mark up things on the map by drawing a point, drawing a line, drawing a polygon, etc. You can then save that to the database, and that information can be retrieved for viewing by others. By others, we mean anyone who has login access to GPV. So not just under your login. So just keep that in mind. There is a separate tutorial all about the Markup panel, so I recommend you check that out. For our introduction to the major components of the General Purpose Viewer, or GPV, I recommend you check out our other tutorials for further information.